Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. So today I'm finally filming a video that has been so requested for the last, I would say at least like 3 months, and it always shocks me every time you guys are asking me for a makeup tutorial on my everyday look, because I obviously am not a beauty guru or a makeup professional, but I've definitely found a look that works for me, that's long lasting, that I personally really like, and a lot of you guys are liking it too. And I think the reason so many of you have asked me to film this video is because it's like from a real person's perspective, like an everyday person who's not that great at makeup but has just found like something that works for them. Because whenever I watch a makeup tutorial from a professional or like a really famous person on here, I think it looks amazing on them, but I feel like I could never recreate that. So I feel like this is like a very realistic perspective. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. And let's get started. I'm starting out with a Colourpop concealer, and this is the No Filter concealer. It's only $6. It's really good, full coverage and lightweight. The shade is medium 22, and I just put this on like hyperpigmentation and dark spots and like pretty much any imperfections that I have before foundation, because that way I can wear way less foundation, especially when it's really hot out. I want like a full coverage, like a perfected look, but I don't want to have a ton of foundation on. So this is a holy grail product of mine, and I'm just stippling this in with a buffing brush from e.l.f. I've been picking these up a lot lately because they're available as like an individual brush and not a complete set, which is really nice. Whenever I'm at a Target, I feel like I always just pick up like 1 or 2 to test out. So I just like to use that to stipple in the product on those areas. And next up is foundation. There's a few I want to mention real quick. So I have shared the NARS, the Natural Radiant Longwear foundation with you guys a lot lately. I still really like this, but I get very shiny, especially in the summertime because it is so hot right now. So this has only been lasting on me like 6 hours. If you have a normal skin type or even a dry skin type, I feel like this would last super long on you, but right now I have put this to the side. And I love foundation. I'm always testing out full coverage foundations, but the one that will last on me so much longer than pretty much any foundation I've ever tried is by L'Oreal. It's the Infallible Pro Matte. So that's what I'm going to use today, and that's what I've been using the last few weeks because it lasts forever on me. It doesn't start to break up. And I'm going to mix together 101 and 107. It's always sold out. I can never find like a single shade for me in like the 104, 105, 106 range. So I always have to mix 2 together. Okay, and then I'm just going to stipple this all over my face. And my eyes are actually pretty dark, so I do put a little bit of this on my eyes as well. I'm going back in with the No Filter concealer from Colourpop for brightening under the eyes, center of the face. And the 2 shades I have right here are light 10 and light 12. I would say that 10 is like a yellow undertone and 12 is a salmony pink undertone. So that's the one that I'm going to use. I really like a pink undertone for under the eyes. I feel like it looks so much more like awake and really bright that way. And I do want to show you, I do have a few of Shape Tape from Tarte. I have like 3 of these. I still really like these, but it is just a little bit heavy for a really hot day, so that's why I've been sticking with the No Filter. So this is how I apply it. I just sweep it down here, and then I go like this in kind of a straight line, and I want it to go farther in, but I know when I blend it, it's going to go like higher up my nose, so that's why I stay a little farther away than where I actually want it to go. Then I'm going to go like this. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know I like a really bright under eye, so this is probably a little heavy for some people, but this is just the look that I like. And then I'll do a little bit right here and just a little bit right here. And then I'm just going to blend this in with my fingers under the eye, and then I will use my foundation brush for the chin and the upper lip and between my eyes. And then I also bring whatever is left on my fingers on the lid. And as you guys can see, I am bringing a little bit up onto the sides of my nose. Kind of blend the lines on my nose and then blend this out. And now to set everything, I'm going to use the Airspun powder. This is the translucent one. This is so good. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of it. It honestly makes my skin look 10 times smoother than it is. It locks everything in place, especially if you guys have an oilier skin type like I do. You like have to do this. So I just am going to use a flatter brush, and I'm just going to swirl this in here. And then I like to press it into the skin. And that is what really makes your skin look like very, very smooth, is pressing it and not just like sweeping it. This is just a fluffy powder brush from BAREMINERALS. So I am just, like, I'm not sure if you guys can see on camera, but it looks 10 times smoother after I put this powder on. And then for the under eye area, I'm using a tapered brush from e.l.f. And it's the same product, but I'm just going to use this one because it obviously is a lot smaller, so I can get in those hard to reach areas. I also like to use this around the nose. And then the palette I've been holding up in this video to see myself, it is from Tarte, and I am obsessed with this palette, you guys. I use it every single day, and a little will go a long way. I totally think I'm like heavy-handed when it comes to face powders, so I use a lot of it, but it lasts forever. It's very highly pigmented. It blends out like a dream, and if you are a neutral style girl like I am, you will love this because there's not a black or a navy or a red or anything like really bold. It's all extremely neutral, so I cannot recommend this enough. I definitely will link it down below. I'm going to be applying the contour shade in this palette with a tapered brush. This is from e.l.f. The reason I use a tapered brush and not like an angled brush is because I still get a contour, but it will diffuse it so quickly, and it's way more of like a natural style contour, which I personally really like. So that is the reason for that. And I also apply it just a little bit higher than I want it to go because when I blend it out, it's going to go a little lower. So definitely recommend doing that. I am going to do it a little bit heavier than this, but I always like to work in stages. And I am going to put on a lip balm. I always put on a lip balm right after I finish setting my face. This is just a Vaseline. It's the rose one, and I'm almost out of it, but I put this on until I put on a lip product. That way my lips are really moisturized, and my lip product will last longer and it won't be like flaky or anything. So I always do that for like 15 or so minutes. Okay, I'm also putting product on my nose, like the tip of my nose, and I'm doing a little bit of extra on the sides of my forehead and just focusing where the sun would hit my face naturally. And I refer to this as like a softer contour because it just like focuses where the sun hits you, and it's not like super harsh lines. And I don't know, I just feel like it's still like a makeup look, but like a naturally makeup look, which is what I really, really like. So I just go around the jaw, and I like to pull it down on the sides. Like on these parts right here is where I add a little bit of bronzer. So I would say these next two products, they're by Milani. I'd say they're like secret weapons of mine. I know that's so cheesy, but they just make your skin look so good. And this is a Drugstore brand if you haven't heard of it. So I would say that the bronzer, the shade is 4. It's a baked bronzer. I think it looks really good as like a topper. I don't think it looks that great or shows up that well like solely on its own. But the other one is a blush. The shade is Luminoso. It's a baked blush as well, and I think it looks really good on its own, but I'm going to use this as a topper as well. So I'm just going to use a skinnier powder brush, and then I'm just going to sweep it in this, and I'm going to put it all over wherever I put the bronzer from this palette. I'm going to put a little bit of this. So just a little bit here, definitely on my nose. Here, 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 and just like pull a little down. I'm going to mix this one in the palette, and then a little bit of this. And for my blush placement, I put it a little lower because I feel like it makes the under eye like so much brighter than if you put it higher up, if that kind of makes sense. So I blend it in with the bronzer and contour. And for eyeshadow, I typically would use this shade like all over the lid, and then I put one of these in the crease. But for the last few weeks or so, I've been using a Super Shock shadow from Colourpop. The shade is Copilot, and it is like a really pretty rose gold silvery pink. I actually think these Super Shock shadows work so much, like way better and way more pigmented if you apply it with your fingertips. So that's what I'm going to do. But first, I am going to put a little bit of this on the brow bone because I feel like it always needs to be a little brighter. I'm going to swirl my finger in this and just get a little bit of product and put it all over the lid. And then for the crease, I'm going to use this shade right here. I use this like on a daily basis for the crease. It is sort of like a shimmery brown, but it isn't super shimmery. And I'm using a tapered brush from e.l.f. I love how skinny this is because it like fits perfectly right in the crease so I don't spread product too far. and I just do like a little bit on the outside and then I blend back and forth. And right before I fill in my brows, I always will go in with a Q-tip or just like something to wipe all the product out of them, because as you can tell, I always get a lot of like foundation and just like face powders in my brows. So I mean, I'm sure you guys can see like a huge difference from one side to the other. There is a lot of product in there, so I always want to get that out first. That way they don't look like strange after I fill them in. And then the pencil that I use is by Anastasia. This is the Brow Definer, and I really like this one because it isn't just a point, it's like an angle. So I always like to start in the center and then I go heavier on the outside and really light on the beginning. And personally, I've always been into like a little bit thicker of a brow. I know some people like skinny and really natural looking brows, but that's never really been my style. I don't do them like super thick, but I don't do them like thin. It's kind of like right in the middle. Okay, and then for brow gel, I don't wear brow gel on like an everyday basis, but this one is so good. It's a dupe for the brow gel from Benefit. I have purchased that one probably like 4 or 5 times, so I'm really familiar with it. But the brow gel from Essence from the drugstore, you guys, is the same thing. Like the packaging is even the same. So I have, let's see, what shades do I have? I think these are the same shade. 1 and 3 are the shades that I have. I think I'm going to use 1. I typically like a brow gel that is just slightly lighter than the brow product I use. That way they look a little softer and more natural when they aren't all filled in the same shade. And we're almost to the finish line, guys. There's just a few more steps. So I'm going to use a brown pencil on the upper lash line, and I just put it on like sort of messy, and then I buff it out with the other side of the brush. And I also am going to do this in the upper waterline. When I do this, I feel like it makes my lashes look so much more like thick and full than they are when I put on mascara. So that is the only reason I do this. And then for the lower waterline, I'm going to use a Wonder Pencil from NYX. The shade is Light, and I like this because it makes me look so much more awake. It makes my eyes look a little larger than they are. I never wear my contacts, so I'm like always squinting. So this just makes my eyes look a little larger because they are like slightly smaller than I would prefer them to be. And then I do bring it down a little bit just in the very beginning. I keep forgetting things and coming back. I forgot an eyelash curler, so I'm just going to do this real quick before I show you the #1 reason I wanted to film this video. And for mascara, I'm going to use one that I talked about recently in an Amazon favorites video. It's only $5. It is the best mascara I've ever used, and I actually placed an order for it on Amazon, and it wasn't going to be here in time for this video. So I went to 3 stores yesterday before I finally found it. And typically when I'm applying this without like filming it, I will do a little on one eye, the other eye, and go back and forth. So it can get slightly tacky and the product can like really build up. But I just wanted to show you guys a difference between the two. And as you guys can see, I don't put any mascara on the lower lash line because I feel like it makes my eyes look smaller and it's not as like wide awake and bright as I like it to be. And you probably can see a little mascara on the eyeshadow. But I'm going to leave that there for about 5 minutes, and then I will wipe it away with a blending brush. I'm sorry again if the lighting looks different. I had to stop because my camera was overheating, but we're gonna make this work and finish. And I just realized I didn't put on my highlight yet. So it's by Lancôme. It's #2 and the shade is Luminous Gold. This is like the perfect summer highlight, you guys. I love this so much, and I'm just using a flat small brush from e.l.f. I'm also using a lip liner by Essence. The shade is 7 Plum Cake. It's one of their long-lasting lip liners, and it's retractable. I don't even know what that word is, but it doesn't have to be sharpened, so it's very convenient. It's very smooth and creamy. Like, it works like a high-end product, but it's only like a few dollars. I think it's like $3, you guys. They're so affordable. And the lip products I've been wearing pretty much non-stop for at least the last like 4 weeks are the lip oils from e.l.f. I've been talking about so many products from e.l.f. in this video because there's some really good affordable ones. So the 2 that I love are Pink Kiss and the other one is Nude Kiss. And let's see, I think I'm going to wear the nude one because I have way more of that one. And they're just really shiny and lightweight. They're not sticky at all. So there's just like a million pros to these, and of course the price. And they're just so pretty. And what I like about these is I think they're really versatile. Like, they look so pretty with a done up look, or if you do like a really natural look, they still look great. And the other lip products I wear a lot just because you guys are always asking about like the lip glosses that I have on is White Russian from Buxom. I've been wearing that one for years. It's like in the $24, $26 range, so it's kind of up there. And the last 2 are lip glosses that are by Milani. It's part of the Amore Shine collection. and the names are really small, but it's 10 and 9. Those are like the shades, and they're just like pinks. I'm always wearing some version of a pink or like a purpley pink, but that pretty much is it. So I definitely don't set my makeup with a finishing spray on a daily basis, but since it's just really hot out, I figured why not. I probably do a finishing spray like, I would say 3 times a week at the most, and this one's by Scandinavia. There's like a million setting sprays out there, but I think this one is the best. It's just like a very fine mist, so that's why I always like Scandinavia setting sprays. And then just kind of like fan it in. And that is it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you are new here and you have not subscribed, then please subscribe. I would love to have you, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Again, this one has been so requested, so I hope it lived up to your expectations and you got some really good recommendations. I'm going to link everything down below, as well as recent videos and a bunch of links for products you guys are always asking about, and I will be back in a few days with a brand new video. Bye!